I'll be playing in my head all day. It was a catch. The NFL's competition committee has reached a unanimous agreement that some of the league's most debated catch controversies should have been ruled completed receptions. Going forward, committee member and Giants owner John Mara tells our Kevin Seifert. So they include plays involving Cowboys receiver Dez Bryant in the 2014 playoffs, Lions receiver Calvin Johnson in 2010, Mara said, and have prompted a discussion geared toward rewriting the rule for the 2018 season. And look who showed up for this discussion. Will Kane from the Will Kane Show. How are you, my friend? Good to see you.
Good. I mean, I don't know if I'm here to celebrate or mourn. I don't really know. I mean, what is this? What is this?
You should feel validated, but you just sit tight there for 1 second because I need to start with Stephen A. on this one. Stephen A. Smith, do you feel bad for the Cowboys?
You asking me that question?
In your heart. Deep down in your heart. Do you feel kind of bad?
Well, me feel so. Listen, y'all, when it first happened, I was on the air the next day and I said, damn it, it was a catch. It should have been a catch. But do I care? Absolutely not. Why? Because what did I say, Will? Let me annoy Will Kane this morning. What do I always say, Will? What can go wrong will go wrong. It's who they are. It's just who they are. It's just that simple. It plays right into my hands. All right, years later, 3 years later, we've now learned it's a catch. What's that going to do? They're going to rewind the clock and give Dez Bryant the ball back and give the Dallas Cowboys an opportunity to win, which, by the way, they would have lost anyway because Aaron Rodgers would have still had the ball with about 4 minutes left. I mean, please, in Green Bay, Aaron Rodgers with the ball, that was going to be a loss anyway, as far as I'm concerned. But y'all can go ahead and talk about what might have been. It's the one thing that Cowboy fans are absolute experts at. Oh, what might have been? What might have been? You know, you win, you go 13-3 last year, sticking out your chest. Everybody talking about how they're going to win the Super Bowl. They lose, and they lost. Will, I remember this. They lost at 7:03. By 7:12, I got a call from one of my boys who's a Cowboy fan. You know we're going to win the Super Bowl next year, right? You know we're going to win the Super Bowl next year, right? Then this year comes up, Ezekiel Elliott gets suspended, right? Oh, don't even worry about it. We're going to be back next year. It's just that Ezekiel Elliott got suspended. Next year is going to be something else, just like the last 22, 23 years has been something else. You got Emmitt Smith showing up in Minneapolis, okay, for the Super Bowl. You better watch your mouth about my Cowboys team. I said, ain't your Cowboys. Your Cowboys actually won. I don't know who the hell these imposters are. They are what they are. This is just the latest. The NFL Competition Committee, thank you. I appreciate the levity they have brought to my life. I am thankful for it because this doesn't change anything. First of all, they haven't decided whether or not they can reach an agreement on anything they want. It has no impact. It just gives the Will Kanes and all of these pathetic, delusional, sorry, no good Dallas Cowboy fans just another reason to gripe, whine, and moan about what might have been. And I'm laughing about it. Ha! Good riddance. So what? Who cares? Take it away, Will. Have a good time. Let me go ahead and drink my latte. It's a vanilla latte, Will. It's a vanilla latte.
Gripe.
I'm going to drink this right now. You go ahead. Go ahead.
Gripe, whine, and moan. See, I mean, think for anyone watching this program, they probably always have to wonder, is this Will Kane's Cowboys bias? Or is it, in fact, Stephen A. Smith and, on occasion, Max Kellerman's Cowboys hatred? I present to you the last 4 minutes. That's all you'll have to ever know. Stephen A., you admit that both the day after that incident, the day after that game, and then sitting here today, you have no care in the world about right and wrong. Right and wrong is of no consequence to you. You don't care what should have been. You don't care about what is. All you care about is that it somehow made you feel that validated about what can go wrong, will go wrong. It's not limited, by the way, to things that happen on the field. It happens in the offices of New York City, in the replay booths that we review things incorrectly. Whatever plays into your hand of what can go wrong, will go wrong, you embrace it. It doesn't matter about right and wrong. I don't care either what this competition committee said today. I don't feel validated because it was obvious. It was obvious from day one. All you've done today is tell us what we all already knew,
well,
that it was a catch.
May I ask you a question, Will, because you're getting on me for my bias. What about your bias? Will Kane Was it not difficult to find you the next day? You're a brave man, obviously cares about truth, justice, and the American way.
Right,
all right,
wrong.
all of this
Yep,
other
right,
stuff,
wrong. Yep.
right or wrong, all of this other stuff, right? When the Dallas Cowboys sat up there and stunk up and ended up losing that, not that particular playoff game with the catch, but even last year to Green Bay, was it not difficult to find you the next day
No.
because you didn't want to show your face? That didn't happen?
No, I was here. Molly, was I here?
I didn't say you were not here. I didn't say you were not there. I said was it not
searching
the
hallways for me.
Did you not come on the air and say it was difficult for you to show up to work for the first time? You didn't want to show your face because you were so disgusted.
Well, I do what is hard.
Is that not bias? Is that not you rooting and being a homer? Isn't that you?
That's me
How
being
come I
honest.
can't? You can love, but I can't hate.
That's me being
You
honest.
can love, but I can't hate.
I do my job when it's hard and when it's easy.
If I may.
Max, take over.
They got the call right on the field, by the way.
So?
It was a bad rule, but they got the call right. Now, that's number one. They didn't blow the call. It was a bad rule, and everyone acknowledged that the next day. Two, Stephen A. Smith is right. Aaron Rodgers got the ball back. He would have had the ball back with 4 minutes to go. What do you think your odds are to win? Slim and none. And Slim left town. I mean, what happened the last time Aaron Rodgers got the ball back when the Cowboys came back on him, Will? You lost because Aaron Rodgers is the best who ever did it, and you likely would have lost again. I agree that, especially once the ball crosses the goal line, who cares if it survives contact with the ground? The rule was idiotic because it presupposed that not surviving contact with the ground suggests you didn't have control the whole time. But you did have control when you crossed the goal line. So good, the rule's going to be changed. Will, this is very good for Cowboys fans because now you guys have excuses. And excuses are better than nothing. And if you didn't have the excuses, you'd have nothing. Take it from a reformed Knicks fan. When the New York Daily News and the New York Post had Horace Grant's hand on one side of Charles Smith's hand and Scottie Pippen's on the other of his arm, and the refs didn't call the foul, and the Bulls went on to beat the Knicks and go on to the championship, I complained as a Knicks fan, had they called the foul, what? Had they called the foul, the Knicks would have lost some other way.
No,
Let's
okay,
face
time
it.
out. Let me
So
tell
it
you
gave
or
me-
what. Let me
so
tell
it
you or
gave me
what.
an excuse, and it made me feel better, and that's all you got is excuses. You should be happy
Both
for
of
this.
you have done this now. I forgave it the first time. I ignored it when Stephen A. did it. Now you've done it as well. Max, you've waved your hand as though we can just assume Aaron Rodgers would have brought them back. Let me just explain to you what the situation would have been. The Cowboys would have been on the 1 yard line, and the clock would have been ticking. They almost inevitably would have scored to put themselves up 26-21. Give them one or give them two, however you want to do it. They're up 29-26, 28-26, whatever you want. And the clock is ticked. You're looking at about 2 minutes to go, right? Now, you seem to think that's an obvious Aaron Rodgers victory. Let me just ask you this. What did we also assume was an obvious victory? Could it have been the greatest quarterback of all time who'd thrown for 500 yards that day, down by 5 with the ball with 2 minutes to go? Didn't that just happen
Eagles had
a month
great
ago?
defense.
Didn't that just happen? Didn't Tom Brady,
Will,
what we all
Tom Brady
assumed
is
would do,
no Aaron Rodgers. Tom Brady's no Aaron Rodgers, and the Cowboys' defense is no Eagles' defense.
the Eagles' defense had gotten lit up for 500 yards that game. Your assumptions are just that. And you know what those assumptions do. You know what they do to you, not to me.
Yes.
You can spell it out.
Yes. No,
and
no.
Tom Brady
no, to
and
you
the
and
Eagles
to me.
and
No,
the-
no, no. To
No.
you and to me. It
Just
puts
you,
us in the
not
same
me.
boat. You're making assumptions too.
No.
You're going with the counterfactual that they would have gone on to win the game and then won 2 more playoff games.
I give you the Super Bowl. I give
you
you
have
the-
an excuse now, Will. Be thankful.
I call on you, Stephen A. What is it? You have your hand raised.
I have my hand raised, Will Kane, because would the catch have been a touchdown?
I'm sorry, because
Would the catch by Dez Bryant have been a touchdown?
No, he'd been down on the 1.
Right, so he'd have been down on the 1, right?
Right.
It's not possible that they could have made a mistake at the 1 yard line since hold it. You just brought up Tom Brady and how he threw for over 500 yards. We also saw Russell Wilson throw an interception at the half-yard line in the Super Bowl. We can't surmise that the Dallas Cowboys may have made a mistake and blown an opportunity as is their penchant to do. We don't know a lot of things.
Murray
so
had-
you
had
hold it. So you
wrecked the Packers
so you
that
bringing
day.
up that argument.
DeMarco Murray was running through them. that day.
Wait a minute. You're and Aaron Rodgers has made a career out of running through the Cowboys. So my point to you
Also,
is,
Will-
if you can make an assumption, why can't we? Because you're
But
a
not only that,
Cowboy fan.
what are you arguing?
And far
I just
be
want
it
to
for
find
us
out.
to do it.
None of
You're
the assumptions
ridiculous.
I want to find out what
Stephen A.
Will's arguing. Hold on. Will, what are you arguing? Are you
Who cares
arguing
what he's
that
arguing about,
had
Max?
the rule,
We don't care
had
about
the
Max,
rule
Will.
been different, because it was called correctly, had the rule been different, the Cowboys not only would have scored, would have prevented Aaron Rodgers from scoring, all they needed was a field goal, at least to send it to overtime, right? And then would have beaten Seattle, and then would have beaten the Patriots? Exactly what are you arguing would have happened?
Now, Max, you know better than that. You're better at this job than you're pretending to be right now. I didn't argue that they were really the Super Bowl champions. I didn't argue that they would have beaten the Patriots in the Super Bowl. I didn't argue even that they would have won the NFC Championship game. You're arguing against a ghost. You're arguing against a straw man that you created.
What are you arguing? That's what I'm asking.
I'm telling you this. We've learned two things today. Number one, that was what we all knew all along. It was a catch. And I'm arguing also that you guys waving your hand as didn't matter anyway, because Aaron Rodgers would have won the game, is a huge assumption that makes you look like something, not me. A huge assumption
but also
that waves your hands at what just happened in the Super Bowl. And the main thing I'm arguing is this, that Stephen A. doesn't care about right and wrong. All he cares about is that he gets to hate on the Cowboys no matter what happens on the field or off the field.
No, he cares about when he's
Are you
right.
happy right now?
Yeah,
You have
right.
an
He just
excuse.
cares
Will,
about
tell
when
the
he's
truth.
right.
He proved himself right.
Wait a minute. A couple of things. Number one, Will, I'm very offended by that. I care.
Oh,
I
please.
care a great deal. But here's what I care
All right.
about, Will Kane. I care about it's not about hating on the Cowboys.
We gotta go.
Hold on, Molly. I despise these Cowboy fans. And
All right.
this is yet the latest piece of evidence that validates my disgust with y'all.
Okay,
Because
can
now
we
y'all
all
want to
just
talk about what
accept
might
the
have
past?
been.
Let's
right,
accept
Will.
the past. Stop
Will, he's
reliving
right.
what's behind us. The present's a gift, Will. Okay, let's move on.
Cowboys win the Super Bowl, too.
Oh, Lord. Will,
Yep, see
coming
that?
up with
That's
us
why
next
Jerry
to
Jones
talk
gets to
about the
operate like that.
latest
Because you
team
Cowboys fans
not
keep them in
visiting
business.
President Trump's White House. Find out why they're doing instead and if they're handling it the right way. Plus.
NCAA it's correct. We know that. I'm sorry. It's going to make headlines, but it's correct.
LeBron not holding back in how he feels about the NCAA despite being drafted right out of high school. What impact should LeBron's comments have on college hoops? That's coming up at the bottom of the hour on First Take.
Okay.
Is that Marcy? Why does she look